World War III. Are we closer than ever? For most of human history, world wars did not begin with a single explosion or a sudden declaration. They began quietly with rising tensions, broken trust, competing ambitions, and small conflicts that the world chose to ignore. Today, as news headlines are filled with images of war in Ukraine, military drills near Taiwan, and growing instability in the Middle East, a disturbing question is being asked across the globe. Are we moving closer to World War III? This is not a question driven by fear or conspiracy, but by history itself. Every major global conflict of the past started during a time when nations believed a full-scale war was still avoidable. Yet step by step, rivalry turned into confrontation, and confrontation turned into catastrophe. The world today feels uncomfortably similar to those moments before history changed forever. This video is not here to predict the future or to spread panic. Instead, it aims to understand the present by looking at how previous world wars began, examining today's most dangerous global and listening to what military analysts and historians are warning about. We can better understand where the world truly stands. Modern warfare is no longer just about soldiers and battlefields. It involves economic pressure, cyber attacks, technology, and alliances that stretch across continents. In this documentary, we will calmly and factually explore whether these growing tensions are pushing the world toward a larger conflict, or whether strong global institutions and diplomacy are still acting as a barrier against disaster. The goal is simple: to replace fear with understanding and speculation with context, because only an informed world can hope to prevent history from repeating itself. Chapter 1. How World Wars Actually Begin. World War I and World War II did not begin overnight. They were the result of years of rising tension, political rivalry, and deep mistrust between powerful nations. Before World War I, European countries formed rigid alliances, believing these partnerships would protect them. Instead, those alliances turned a regional conflict into a global war. At the same time, an intense arms race pushed nations to constantly expand their military strength, increasing fear and suspicion on all sides. World War II followed a similar path, driven by economic pressure, unresolved anger from the First War, and the failure of diplomacy. Economic collapse and competition for resources made nations more aggressive and less willing to compromise. The key lesson from both wars is clear: global conflicts begin with escalation, not intention. No nation openly plans a world war, but when tensions rise, step by step and dialogue disappears. Even small events can spiral out of control. Chapter 2. Today's world contains several dangerous flashpoints that remind historians of past global tensions. The Russia-Ukraine war has become more than a regional conflict, involving NATO support, economic sanctions, and long-term strategic consequences for global security. At the same time, tensions between China and Taiwan continue to rise, with military drills and political warnings increasing pressure in the Asia-Pacific region. Any conflict there would directly involve the United States and its allies. Meanwhile, instability in the Middle East remains a constant concern, driven by long-standing rivalries, proxy wars, and fragile political balances. These conflicts matter globally because they are deeply connected through trade, alliances, and energy supplies. A crisis in one region can quickly disrupt the global economy and draw multiple powers into confrontation. The danger today lies in how closely these conflicts are tied to the world's strongest nations. Chapter 3. Global power blocks and alliances. Modern global politics is increasingly shaped by powerful alliances and competing blocs. NATO and its Western allies continue to strengthen military cooperation, presenting themselves as a collective security force. On the other side, countries like Russia, China, and Iran are expanding strategic partnerships to counter Western influence. Economic alliances such as BRICS are also gaining importance, challenging Western dominance in global finance and trade. While alliances are designed to increase security, they also increase risk. A conflict involving one member can quickly pull others into the situation due to treaty obligations. History shows that alliances can both prevent war and accelerate it. In today's interconnected world, These power blocks increase global stability on the surface, but they also create conditions where local disputes can escalate into international crises. Chapter 4: Nuclear Weapons and Modern Warfare. One major difference between past world wars and today's conflicts is the presence of nuclear weapons. Nuclear deterrence theory suggests that nations avoid direct war because the consequences would be catastrophic for everyone. This has helped prevent large-scale wars between major powers. However, modern warfare has evolved beyond nuclear weapons alone. Cyber warfare, artificial intelligence, economic sanctions, and information warfare have become powerful tools of conflict. These methods allow nations to weaken rivals without firing a single shot, but they also make conflicts harder to control. Unlike traditional wars, modern conflicts often lack clear boundaries, increasing the risk of misinterpretation and escalation. Warfare today is faster, more complex, and less predictable than ever before. Are we really heading toward WW3? So, are we really heading toward World War III? Most experts argue that a full-scale global war is unlikely. Nuclear deterrence, economic interdependence, and global institutions all act as strong barriers against total war. However, this does not mean the risk has disappeared. History shows that wars often begin through mistakes, miscalculations, or accidents rather than deliberate decisions. Rising tensions, rapid military responses, and poor communication increase these dangers. The role of diplomacy and global institutions remains critical in managing conflicts and preventing escalation. The future will depend on whether nations choose cooperation over confrontation. Awareness, restraint, and dialogue remain the most powerful tools to ensure that global tensions do not turn into a global catastrophe. As we look at the world today, one thing becomes clear. History is not repeating itself exactly, but it is certainly reminding us of its warnings. The tensions we see across the globe do not automatically mean that a third world war is inevitable, but they do show how fragile global peace can be when dialogue breaks down and mistrust grows. World wars are not born from a single decision. They emerge when small conflicts are ignored, when power replaces diplomacy, and when nations stop listening to one another. Understanding these patterns does not create fear. It creates awareness, and awareness is one of the strongest tools humanity has to prevent catastrophe. The future of the world will depend not only on governments and leaders, but also on informed societies that question, learn, and demand peaceful solutions. History teaches us that silence and ignorance allow conflicts to grow, while knowledge and dialogue can stop them before they spiral out of control. If you believe that understanding the past helps protect the future, then this is exactly what this channel stands for. If you enjoyed this documentary and want more deep, factual, and unbiased videos on history, geopolitics, and global power, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Pastora Doc. Your support helps this channel continue to explore the stories that shape our world. And remember, the goal of learning history is not to fear it, but to ensure we never repeat its darkest chapters.